Welcome back to my podcast, Fashion Canes. This is season 6, episode 7. My name is Alicia, and my co-host in this podcast episode is Abby.
Hi there.
Okay, our topic for today is strange things people say about visual impairment. Okay, there are tons of things that are strange that people say about visual impairment. I'm only going to cover 7 in this podcast episode. If you have a visual impairment, if you are low vision, or if you are blind, if you want to cover this topic, please feel free to do so on your YouTube channel or your podcast. Whichever one you have, or if you have both, cover this topic if you want to. Feel free to do so. Okay. Number 1, how do you eat? This question is strange, and it's also rude. If you are sighted or not disabled, please don't do this. I don't know what people mean by this. I assume that what they mean is, how do you get the spoon from the fork or spoon, whatever you use, into your mouth? Or maybe what they mean is, how do you find the food on your plate? Abby, do you have any thoughts on this?
I want to hear more first. Continue.
Sometimes people will say to a visually impaired person, how do you eat?
Right.
Well, that just seems like a strange and rude question, don't it?
I think they probably don't realize that the way that they're asking it is rude, but
Probably not.
I could see where it might sound strange, especially to someone that might be visually impaired.
Yeah, what do you think they mean by that?
I think that it comes from them knowing, because they aren't visually impaired, right? And so they see
Right.
how most people
Right.
eat, and I would think that they just wonder, like, how they themselves would be able to eat without their eyes, without being without being able to see as well as they do. And so they're probably just like, how do you eat? And then they probably take a step back and think, well, I didn't mean that to sound bad, but I'm really curious. So that's what I think they mean by that.
Yeah,
They're just like genuinely curious, I think. But it's definitely depends on the individual.
yeah, I don't know what they mean, but perhaps what they want to know is, how do you find the food on your plate?
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I have a little bit of vision, so there's a lot of foods I can see, even though I'm not able to recognize them. So I can look at my plate and be like, well, there's an object, there's an object, there's an object, even though I don't have any depth perception. For people that can't see at all, or for people that only see light or lights and shadows, you can feel the heat coming from a hot dish, like chicken fettuccine. And you can feel the coolness or the coldness coming off of a cold food dish, like chicken salad. And you can smell it.
Yeah.
And low vision people and blind people are both able to use spoons and forks to get food to their mouth.
Right.
I don't know if they mean, how do you find the food on your plate, or if they mean, how do you get the food from spoon or fork into your mouth.
I think they probably are asking about the process because they're probably, thinking like, if I couldn't see as well, I might find it hard to find the food on my plate, or,
Maybe.
I don't know.
That could be it. I don't know. Maybe. that could be what they want to know.
It's a curious thing. It's a curious question.
I guess people are just naturally curious, but it comes off as strange and rude.
Right.
Even though most of the time, they don't mean it to be rude.
Right.
Number 2, how do you write? A lot of low vision people have enough vision to be able to read with either one or both eyes, with extra large print, standard size print, not itty bitty print, but standard size print, or different types of magnifiers, or what's it called? Zoom text. Okay, I am low vision, so I am severely partially sighted, but I don't have enough vision to be able to read. But I can still write because I had an art teacher when I was in 8th grade in school. She taught me how to write with a pencil. She showed me the shape of the letters, and that's how she taught me to write. Thank you to that art teacher. I appreciate it.
That is awesome.
Some people read Braille. I never did like Braille. I grew up learning it. I never did love it. I didn't even like it. And that leads into number 3. Number 3 is how do you read? Okay, well, a lot of low vision people can read with their eyes. I can't. For people that can't read with their eyes, there are audiobooks. I read a lot of audiobooks. I enjoy reading like children's stories, children's audiobooks that are like fairy tale based. I like to read stories that are about fairies and princesses and unicorns and mermaids. I like that ethereal fairy tale type storybook. I also like historical fiction, but I mostly like fairy tale stories. Some people read Braille. I don't. This leads into number 4. Number 4 is, do you read Braille? The answer is no, not anymore. And every low vision person and even blind people should be allowed to choose if they want to learn Braille or not. I never wanted to. I was forced into it. I don't believe that's a good scenario. You shouldn't force people to read Braille if they don't want to read Braille, because it's not just another way to read and write. It actually goes more deeper than that. Actually, what it does is it makes you feel like you are even more isolated from your peers, because you are not learning to read or write with standard ways. So you are not learning to read with your eyes, and you are not learning to write with a pencil. Well, in my case, I physically can't read with my eyes, but I can still write.
I think that's so cool. I think that's awesome.
I write with a pencil with my right hand, and I put my left hand on the page to help keep track of where I'm writing on the page. Do the letters slant across the page? Yes. Do I waste paper when I write, like skip lines? Yes, but I skip lines on purpose to make sure I don't write words on top of words. But I wouldn't trade my ability to write for 100 years of the ability to read Braille. I would rather be illiterate than read Braille, because it leads to isolation and separation. And no one wants to feel isolated.
Ariel.
What number are we on?
What number? I think that was 4.
4. Ariel is my signal to start wrapping up the podcast episode or the video. This is the podcast episode, and I still have 3 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 5. How do you get dressed? Now, this question is not necessarily rude, but it is strange, and I think it comes from a place of curiosity. Well, I love fashion. Not everyone will love fashion. If I was sighted, I would have loved fashion anyway, because that's just who I am. I'm capable of picking out an outfit. I can pick out my blouse and skirt, or shirt and skirt, or dress, and shoes and purse and hair accessories. But I need help to match colors even when I'm able to see colors, because I never learned what goes with what colors go with what. Number 6. How do you work out at the gym? Well, this question is not necessarily rude, but it is a little strange, and it does come from a place of curiosity. In many of my podcast episodes and in many of my videos on my YouTube channel, you've seen me work out at the gym. I work out at the gym just like a sighted person would. Is there anything you want to add to that, Abby?
I don't think so.
Is there anything that I do differently than what sighted people do when I work out at the gym?
You have help from me just to get set up on the machines. But other than that, you do it by yourself and the workout itself.
Yeah, I have help from Abby to start the machine, but I do the workout on my own.
You do?
That was number 5. Yeah.
All right.
Number 6. How do you cook? Well, the honest answer is I don't cook for safety reasons, because I'm scared that even though they have talking timers, that I might accidentally set it wrong, and if I'm trying to cook meat, for instance, it wouldn't be completely done, and I don't want to get food poisoning, and I don't want to give it to someone else. Now, there are people with low vision that are able to cook. Some people have low vision and they have enough vision that they can see well enough to cook, even with assistive technology. Number 7. How do you get around in public? Okay, some people who have low vision, and even blind people, some of them use long canes, some of them use a leader dog. I do not use a leader dog. I believe that they are very special animals that have a very special job to do, and I believe that they should be honored and respected. But I don't use one because I'm scared of animals. That's the honest truth. They just scare me. For no reason in particular. Sometimes I use a long cane and sometimes I don't. That's not dependent on how much I'm able to see at that particular time. My vision does fluctuate a good bit from week to week and from day to day, and it even fluctuates several times throughout one day. But mostly I get around by echolocation. We got one more to do, right? Number 7?
Yes. And by the way, I can pause it.
It won't.
Yeah.
It won't. It will just turn it into 2.
No, it won't.
Okay. Okay. Abby had to pause the video because it was time for me to get off the exercise bicycle. Earlier in this video, I was on the exercise bicycle. This podcast episode, I was on the exercise bicycle.
And it worked, by the way.
Now I'm on the treadmill. I had to say that because I didn't get done with the topic. The topic is strange things people say to visually impaired people, or about visual impairment. Abby said that it worked. I certainly hope that it does, and that it don't split it into 2 videos.
It did work.
Or 2 podcast episodes, because I had an experience like this. If you've seen the 2 videos that I did several months back on my YouTube channel called Shopping for a Purse and Shopping for a Purse Part 2, in those 2 videos, I was in Rose's shopping for a purse for my mama, and I wound up buying a pink purse, and I wanted it to be all one video, but she needed to pause the video for a little bit, and when she started the video back, it had split it into 2 videos, but that was all one shopping experience. I was hoping that this would not happen this time. Abby said it didn't, so hopefully when it gets uploaded, all of this will be all in one podcast episode or video session. This is a podcast episode. Okay, I was on number 7. Abby, how did you get it to work?
Get what to work?
How did you get it not split it into 2?
There's a pause button on the right side of the screen, and I clicked pause, and then it just paused it, and then I just pressed play to start recording again right here, and we're at 15 minutes and some seconds, so it's like, you know, still the same video.
Yeah, Mama tried that day when I was shopping for a purse in Rose's, and it split it into 2.
Huh. Well, we got lucky today.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out correctly.
Maybe this can be a new thing that we do.
Yeah, for the extra long ones.
Yeah? All right, go ahead.
Number 7 is how do you fix your hair? Well, sometimes I fix it and sometimes my mama fixes it. I will be honest, I am not good at fixing hair. When I try to braid my hair, it comes out loose at the top. I don't intend for it to be that way. I want it to be tight at the top. It turns out tight at the top when my mama fixes it that way. But it don't work when I do it. I'm pretty good at making a braid, but I have trouble with the beginning part where it's supposed to be tight. But other than that, I mean, I do it about the same way basically about the same way sighted people do. I brush my hair, I braid my hair, I pick out 1 or 2 barrettes to put in it. Or if I don't want barrettes, pin it up with hairpins or bobby pins. Or I may pick 1 small barrette, 1 like skinny barrette to put near the crown of the head and pin up the rest of my hair. I mean, I pick out my hair accessories about the same way that sighted people do. Except for the fact that I need help to match them with my outfits. Okay, that's it for this podcast episode. Thank you for watching this podcast episode.